Aloha, and welcome to Ukulele FPV. In this channel, I plan on doing reviews of RC products that I receive, and I will also be doing flight footage once I get a big quadcopter up in the air, and DVR footage once I get a DVR installed in goggles. But for my first video, I'm going to do a review of the Turnigy Evolution. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been playing around with this and I've hooked it up to the computer and I really enjoy it. It's been great for me as a beginner to learn how to fly, especially because I am learning as a thumber because I grew up on video games and I just find it easy. And that being said, from what I understand, the Turnigy Evolution isn't very good for pinchers, so if you're a pincher, you might want to look at other options like the Tyrannus QX7. But for all you thumbers out there, this is a great controller. It's not too expensive, though HobbyKing shipping is a little steep, but all in all, it's a pretty good quality. So first off, you can see this is it with its protective cover on. It came in a box with instructions and the Turnigy IA6C receiver pre-bound, so you can just put that into your quadcopter and get going. It came perfectly fine. I got the black version. I've had to open it up a couple times because I've had a couple problems, but other than that, it's all good. As you see, to start, you just press this button, and if not all the switches are in the right places, it won't turn on. So all the switches have to be up. And there you go, you can see I have a little problem right there. Sometimes that doesn't work, so I need to go in and glue it, but I'll do that in another time. So it comes with these two switches that are 3 position switches. It has this 2-position switch, the throttles that change color as you move them around, the on-off switch, and then there's this little knob that turns. And then here we have the touch screen. I actually upgraded it. So up here you can see fly mode, and you can, if you turn that on, you can set different modes and it'll tell you what mode you are in to different channels. So like you can stick it on this and tell it when it'll show that it's armed or disarmed. And then over here we have the timer that you can set a timer. You can put it in there, you set it up with the time, how long you want it to be, and then I have it set on a switch, so when I pull this switch right here, the timer starts going. And so that's just so I know when to stop flying. There's 2 timers, and then there's the throttle timer. And the throttle timer, you can set it for when you want it to start going, at what percentage of the throttle. And so I have it at 10% when you go up. And so once I go a little bit over 10, it starts going, and when I go down, it stops. And that helps you know exactly what your flight time is, how long you're in the air, and how much you're actually on the sticks. So that's a nice feature that it has. On here it has 2 other screens. There's it tells the TX right here. It says that it has 4.21 volts. So here is pretty much your telemetry screen. Once you hook it up to your receiver, and as long as it's a receiver that's compatible, it'll show the telemetry. It'll show the voltage and the radio strength. And then over here you can see the channels. They all work nicely. Oh. Anyway, I'll fix that later. HobbyKing, I addressed them about this problem, and all they said was if I could send it back, they'll replace it, and it costs an arm and a leg to send back. So I've just been dealing with it. So that's one downfall to this. It wasn't the best. They don't have very good customer service over there at HobbyKing. And I have this problem that every once in a while when I flip the switches, it'll knock something out here in the back and it's not plugged in all the way. So it messes up this gimbal. It makes it think that it's pushed all the way down. Anyway, back to this. In the settings menu, you can reverse any channel. You can set the endpoints where you want them to be. You can set the auxiliary channel so you can switch around these and what they actually are. You can sub-trim. You can set the failsafe, which I haven't really set any of these off. To bind, you turn on your receiver and click bind while you're turning it on, and then you also have this over here set in bind mode and it'll just bind right up. Here you can change the sound. I have the sound off right now, but you can set how loud you want, and I'm not sure what this mid-throttle tip is. Oh, I guess it just tells you when you're at mid-throttle. And you can set the brightness, how bright you want it. I usually just leave it at about 50. You can change the LEDs. You can set it to whatever colors you want. This is usually my go-to color. It's a nice blue. But that's always nice. Or you just have it where it goes with wherever you are stick position wise. And if you really want them off, you just put them all over to the side and there you go. They're off. Oh, there goes my alarm. Here's the output mode. You can set it to PWM, PPM, iBus, SBus. I've heard that iBus works best, but I don't have a lot of experience with that. You can select 5 different models. So you can put 5 models in here and put them all to your own settings, and you can give them a name. And then all these resets. And I did the firmware update, which you just go into here, you click on that and you plug it in after downloading the firmware, and it will download it. As you see, I put it in March 3rd, that's 0.09. That's the firmware that it is. And then another thing is, you can go into this other menu if you put both sticks down to the left and turn it on. And this allows you to do a stick adjust where you can calibrate your sticks. Sometimes you need to do that. And then you have to do this one too. And then I played around with this. The best way to get it so that you can go out is you put both sticks in the middle, make sure, and then click the back arrow. And then it'll save it. Use throttle mode. You can, if you have a spring, the lower mode means the throttle lowers, return is, it returns to the middle. You can also adjust the battery voltage. I'm not sure why you would need to do that. I guess if it's off, then you can fix that. You can bind in here. You can do a key test. Make sure everything's working. LCD test. You can change what mode it is. So right now it's mode 2, which is throttle, and then all the others. Mode 1 is, this is throttle, which won't work unless I switch the spring over. Mode 3 and 4, which hardly anyone uses. I'm not sure what RFM tests, and then it's about the firmware again. And so once you do that, it'll turn it off and reset. Anyway, one last thing. It has this right here for charging, so you can just plug that into the wall, a computer, whatever, and it allows you to charge. It's also great for doing simulators. And that's all I have for you. It looks like my camera went off a little bit. That is my little review. Overall, my thoughts, this is a great controller for someone that's new, learning how to fly, especially if you are very used to playing video games. It's pretty reliable. I like it. I just need to do my one little fix of putting the hot glue in there. Anyway, I hope that I can keep making these videos. I was going to put a little bit of simulator flight footage in there, but I might just make another video with that. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Please come back for more. Aloha.